Hello accounting boffins, you are with Ashraf Patel, and in today's lesson we're focusing on a question, an actual question on cash budgets. So keep your eyes open, keep your ears ready to receive the information so you know exactly how to go about answering a question on the cash budget. Here goes. Let's recap before we go into the question. When we're dealing with cash budgets, we're dealing with receipts and payments. Okay, so for today's lesson, the focus is on cash budgets. The information we have here is that you are provided with an incomplete cash budget of Zoom traders for the period 1st July to the 31st of August. So that's 2 months you're preparing a cash budget for. And what else do we know? We are told that these are my sales figures and these are my cost of sales figures, obviously for the period July to August. The question arises, why have they given us May, June, July, August? Obviously, that will become evident when we actually do the question to see how this information will impact on my budget periods of July and August. Okay, the first question says, it's an appetizer, it's a starter for you, and it says here, provide one reason why it is essential for a business to prepare a cash budget. Okay, one reason why it is essential for a business to prepare a cash budget. Let's look at it. 1, to project or assess future cash flows, inflows and outflows of cash, right? Or you could say to predict cash flows to determine receipts and payments for the future. Or you could answer by saying to control the cash to calculate the bank balance. Notice, nowhere in your responses has any mention been made about incomes or expenses. Why? The question was cash budget. And that's the important component that you have to take into consideration when you're answering a question relating to the cash budget. Okay. Now we go on and it says here required, calculate the credit sales for July 2021 and then complete the debtors collection schedule for August 2020. Right. Let's look at the information that we have here. This is your sales figure, but it is your total sales figures. Can you see that? And if you look at the answer book that you have been provided with, you will notice here that they've given you the credit sales. So, very, very important. Whenever you are asked to complete a debtors collection schedule, the emphasis or what do you require to be able to complete a debtors collection schedule is definitely your credit sales. Do you see that? So now that you have the credit sales, they asked you to calculate the credit sales for July. Let's go back and see the information that we have here. We are told that these sales figures are your total sales figures, right? But that's inadequate. That's not what we require to complete the debtors collection schedule. In order to do a debtors collection schedule, like I mentioned earlier, you require your credit sales. And therefore, step number 1, calculate your credit sales for July. That's the figure that we have. 108,000 is my total sales figure. I therefore take the 108,000 and I'm told that 60% of total sales are for cash. Immediately telling you that if 60% was cash, then definitely 40% had to be on credit. So therefore, immediately I say fine, let's do this here. Take the 108,000, right, which was my total sales for July, multiply that by 40%, because clearly the figure that's given to me is my total sales and my credit sales amount to 40% of that figure. Therefore, if I calculate this, it gives me a figure of 43,200. I can now go in here and slot in my 43,200. Okay, got it. So there we go. I have now completed the credit sales component for July. Now what do I require? Now I'm told that I must complete the debtors collection schedule in terms of the arrangement with our debtors. What arrangement do we have with our debtors? Let's see what arrangement we have with our debtors. There we go. As you can see in this slide here, we now have slotted in our credit sale of 43,200. Okay. Credit sales are collected as follows. 20% will be collected in the month of sale, right? 70% will be collected in the first month following the month of sale. 8% will be collected in the second month following the month of sale. Okay? The balance is written off in the third month following the month of sale. Just to give you an idea, what are we referring to here? Obviously, 70 plus 20 is 90, plus 8 is 98%. So you're expecting 98% of your debtors to settle their debts in terms of the arrangement. What's the arrangement? 20% in the month of sale, 70% in the month following the month of sale, 8% will be collected in the second month after the month of sale, and then the balance, which you can clearly see here, is the 2% will obviously be the bad debt that you write off in the third month after the month of sale. Okay, now that we have that information, we can move on and start doing our calculations. Let's look at May first. This is the month of May, right? What do we know? 20% will pay us in May, right, as per our agreement. 70% will pay us in June, right? 8% will pay us in July. Therefore, notice that May's credit sale has no impact on August. The question that you may be asking is, why is the 2% not shown in August? Because clearly the 2% is your bad debt that you had written off in the month of August. And we know now at this stage already from all the lessons that we have done that bad debts does not appear in my cash budget. Why? It is a non-cash item, will not appear in my cash budget. However, it will appear in my projected income statement under my operating expense bad debts. Okay, so there we sorted May out. May is done and dusted. Let's go to June. June, we know that our credit sale is 49,200. We know that some debtors will pay us in June, some will pay us in July, and 8% will pay us now in the month that we are dealing with, which is August. Let's do our calculation. We've got 43,200. Sorry, we're looking with 49,200, wrong figure I'm working with. Then we cancel that. We're looking with at the 49,200, right? Times the 8%. Here we go, times the 8%, and that will give me a figure of 3936. Here we are. There's my 3936. Can you see? Although the sale took place in June, its impact will be felt in August because that is our arrangement with our debtors. Once again, a repeat of the arrangements: 20% in the month of sale, 70% the month following the month of sale, 8% in the second month following the month of sale, and the bad debt in the third month following the month of sale. So let's go now to July, which we calculated to be 43,200. Again, the question is, how will we calculate July? Because remember, all that we require is we are working with the August component of the cash budget, right? So therefore, taking July into consideration, some will pay you in July, the 20%. The 70% will pay you in August, so we can do that calculation now. Let's take the 43,200. 43,200 times your 70%, and that will give you a figure of 30,240. Here we go. Clearly you can see July 30,240, and that is now your calculation with regards to the July component. Okay, now you can see from these calculations that it is important for you to determine how the payments will take place, for you to be able to apportion that component in the month that you are dealing with. So these are the months that we are dealing with, and the reason we gave you the May figure to show you that May would have worked itself out and would not impact in August in any way. So we've dealt with May, we've dealt with June, we've dealt with July. Now we come to August. August, my credit sale was 33,600. So immediately I go back to my provisos. What was it? 20% in the month of sale. Therefore, let's take our 33,600. 33,600 times the month. In the month of sale is 20%. Therefore, looking at my calculation, 6,720. And here we go, August, it will impact in August, and the amount is 6,720. So, what is important for you to remember, when you are doing these calculations, make sure that you know how each month will impact on the budget month. And that is important. Once again, watch, I'm redoing this because of its importance. May, we said they will pay us in June, they'll pay us in May, June, and July, and you can see it works itself out. June will pay us in June, they'll pay us in July, and a component will be paid in August. July will pay you in July, some part will pay you in August, and obviously, you can see here that some part of your July component will also pay you in September. However, September is out of my budget period because my budget period is focused on the month of August. Clear, guys? Okay. Then obviously you come to August, and August, they will pay you 20% will pay you in August, which we've calculated to be 6,720. So in this way, you've now done two things. One, you calculated the credit sale for July. Let's go back and see that one there. Again, that was calculated by means of looking at what your total sales figure, right? Your total sales figure, which you then took 40% of it to determine your credit sale. That was the first part of the question, which we completed, the 43,200. Once this was completed, that means you had all your credit sales that you required. You could then go on and complete your debtors collection schedule, which we have successfully done. All that we do now is we take our figures here, right? And what do we have? Let's take our components. It's the 3,936, which was for the month of June, plus your 30,240, which for the month of July, plus your 6,720 for the month of August, and that gave you a figure of 40,896. As you can see, there's your 40,896. Now remember, this 40,896 will fit into your cash budget, right? It will be a component of your cash budget where you will say receipts from debtors. and that will then give you the figure that you require of 40,896 Rand. So guys, clearly you can see how important it is to be able to complete a debtors collection schedule. Summarize, important points to remember. Step number 1, you need your credit sales. Once you've ascertained your credit sales, you can now go ahead looking at the provisos. In this case, 20% in the month of sale, 70% in the month following the month of sale, 8% in the third month, and then the bad debt. Using that provisos, you then complete the collection of your debtors collection schedule, and like I said earlier on, that figure of 40,896 will appear in your cash budget proper as your receipts from debtors. Right? Let's take a quick break and we'll see you in a jiffy.